and welcome to another part of Storytime with Eamon Standing, for the third part of He's Too Sexy for His Fat. I'm sorry I didn't upload one of these over the weekend as I was at my parents', and then I stayed on Sunday night as well, which I wouldn't usually do because bed was being delivered on Monday morning, which was hilariously fun to get up a staircase. But anyway, where do we leave the Griffin family? They were at the Hotel Barrington, and Peter had just had his cheeks filled with vomit. But, more importantly, Chris had decided to change his life and try and slim down. So, after their stay at the Barrington, the Griffins returned to their home, which has recovered considerably since its encounter with the exterminators. The family sits round the table, all smiling except for Chris, who doesn't seem to be enjoying the provisions that his new lifestyle has to offer. As Lois serves dinner, it is clear he is envious of the meal crafted for the rest of the family. Meatloaf for us, and a very special, very delicious steamed vegetable dish for Chris. He sniffs the rabbit food placed in front of him. He is far from pleased. Oh, I hate vegetables. Honey, they're good for you. Oh. He places a watery chunk of cauliflower into his mouth. On contact with his tongue, he grimaces. He swallows slowly and turns to his mother. A more appropriate simile could not be written. It tastes like a monkey. A monkey that's past its prime. Stewie sees his brother suffering and revels in the delight of a slice of meatloaf placed in front of him. The fact that Chris can't have any making the experience even greater than his sadistic tendencies are satisfied. This meatloaf is a symphony of flavour, he turns mockingly to Chris. It's too bad you can't have some, it's practically orgasmic. On eating some meatloaf, he gives a performance worthy of an Oscar nomination, or maybe meteoric porn award, as he imitates throes of ecstasy at the consumption of Lois's dish. Oh yes! Yes! Oh, yes! Whether for comedic effect, or to mock his upset, overweight sibling, or for a serious reflection on his confused, prematurely developed sexuality, such stimulations are not often associated with meatloaf. Nevertheless, Brian makes his move. I'll have what he's having. As well as an adjusted diet, Chris is starting to exercise, and at Quahog Gym, as promised, Peter is helping his son shed those pounds. And by pounds I mean kilos, because, metric. Come on. Sporting a black and white striped coach attire and neck whistle, Peter stands enthusiastically by his teenage son, who is about to conquer the cardiovascular menace that is a treadmill. Okay, Chris, time for some good old-fashioned exercise, like the August guys are doing. Oh, I say, Phineas, great day to be doing squat thrusts and lifting our huge triangular iron weights. Hip, hop, hip, hop, hip. Let me introduce two hairy-chested Victorian-style gents, Barnaby and Phineas, whose moustaches are as bold and powerful as any moustache can be. Contrary to Peter's indication, Chris will not be tackling the good old-fashioned exercise in this sense. However, watching them lift their huge triangular iron weights is no shortage of motivation for a boy like Chris. And as they begin their workout, perhaps Chris would rather be in their shoes. Dad, I don't like running. The sound of my thighs scraping together hurts my ears. But Peter is prepared for such a startling revelation, for technology has given him greater motivation than Barnaby and Phineas. Peter reaches down and reveals his secret weapon in the fight against fat. A Twinkie on a piece of string tied to a toilet plunger set at an angle. He pops it on Chris's head, and instinct takes over the boy's actions. Hey, a Twinkie! The predator identifies his prey. I'm gonna get you! And as Chris starts running on the treadmill in order to catch the Twinkie, Peter smiles. As long as he has his technology and mind games, this kid'll be slim in no time. A local park contains Chris's next challenge. He strains as he attempts a rep on a chin-up bar. His father's encouragement outweighed significantly by his incentive to chin up. Come on, you can do it. Ah, feel the burn, Chris. Ah. In his genius, Peter has a growing campfire lit underneath his red-faced son. He sprays a little more lighter fluid on to speed up the process. Feel the burn. But as we all know, Swimming is a great form of exercise, and a trip to the countryside to swim upstream with the migrating salmon is not off the cards for Peter's son. That's a boy, all the way upstream, buddy. Chris swims surprisingly gracefully with his newfound friends and leaps through the water as naturally as they do, perhaps too naturally. Like many salmon before him, Chris has fallen victim to a bear, and as he is shaken frantically in the jaws of the ferocious beast, his father's advice, though perfectly valid, conjures up mental images that we as the audience really didn't need. Okay, just relax. Try to soil yourself like we practiced. Back at home, Chris looks dismayed at the results of his current regime. Peter stands by in support. Dad, this says I gained weight. The coach's expression turns to a vexed frown. That's impossible. Take off your shirt. On removing his shirt, a small object sticks out from under Chris's belly fold. Peter is in awe. What the hell is that? He lifts up the fold and Stewie falls out. After a small stint of rolling on the ground, he comes to a stop against the bath panel, his hair a frantic mess as he gasps for breath. Oh, bovine lummox. Oh God. His efforts amounting to nothing, Peter is almost as upset as his son. As he gulps down a beer at the pub with his friend Cleveland, his failure as a coach plays on his pre-inebriated mind. I'll tell you, Cleveland, he's been working out all week and he hasn't lost a pound. Cleveland lends his support. Peter, if you're this desperate about Chris's weight, why don't you just suck the fat out? The father retorts. His thought process, though utterly idiotic in usual conversation, shows no deviation from rationality in this instant. Look, if you can find a hole on the boy you want to put your lips to, be my guest. His friend's expectations of contextual obviousness have sadly failed. I'm talking about liposuction. My brother Broderick's a cosmetic surgeon. Consideration sweeps Peter's mind. He looks from side to side. Lois would never allow this for Chris. Is it good? Well, Nell Carter used to be twice as big before Broderick got through with her. FYI, he used the fat he took out of her to make the two kids from Good Burger. At Quahog Medical Center, Chris and Peter get a consultation from Cleveland's well-recommended brother. Broderick's pitch is nothing short of a disturbing flashback into the history of American warfare, and though his assurance of safety is adamant, his use of metaphor is highly inappropriate. This is a very safe procedure, son. You won't feel a thing. I'm like a green beret, you know. I sneak inside you and I skulk around. It's like it's Vietnam or something. And I'm sneaking through the bush, you know, and I get all the fat, like the fats in my bodies, step a hand enemy lines or something, you know. When I get out of my bodies, I sneak out again. I'm very mysterious when I'm inside you, you know, like the wind, you know. After such a performance, the father and son can do nothing but a short, sceptical look at each other. This guy is clearly a nut job. Back at home, Lois is cutting a lovely chocolate cake. Stewie has just finished his main course and is looking significantly pudgier than his usual self. Oh, good boy, Stewie. Clean plate. She lovingly wipes her infant son's face. He frowns, a chin fold appearing as a new feature on his already peculiar face. Although I think you got... Yes, I got more of it on me than in me. Yes, that never gets old, Lois. As he conducts his sarcastic outburst, Lois hands him a nice big slice of chocolate cake. He looks at it with fondness. Here's your dessert, sweetie. Dig in. His mother's commands do not resonate well. I'll eat it when I'm ready. Hi, I'm ready. At the sight of Chris entering the room, Stewie's torment must continue. As his brother takes a seat at the kitchen table, our infant sociopath persists in his demotivational stand-up. Well, time for dessert, isn't it? Well, let's see. Big chocolate cake for Stewie, and we have something very tasty for Big Fat You. He picks a leaf off the centerpiece of flowers and throws it in Chris's face. Bon appetit! Chris glares at him with a justified annoyance, but this is far from enough to deter Stewie from his mocking antics. Oh, and feel free to use my fork. I shan't be needing it. Watch me. That's it. Watch this. He slams his face into the ample slice of cake before cramming the mess into his mouth, his face covered in chocolatey tastiness. His mother takes the rest of the cake away from his reach and expresses her annoyance. "Oh, Stewie, stop eating like a little piggy." The baby's expression remains smug. "Maybe you should cut down on your sweets. You're starting to get a little Buddha belly." As she turns to her oldest son, Stewie starts to shuffle and hop his high chair in order to pursue the remaining mass of cake, his new stature impeding his once perfect equilibrium. Lois's annoyance subsides to concern for her middle child. "Chris, where have you been?" "Dad took me to the doctor to get the fat vacuumed out of my belly." Her expression turns to concern. "What?" "I didn't do it. I'm just gonna stay on my diet and exercise." "Good for you. That was a very grown-up decision. I mean, what kind of lazy, narcissistic, irresponsible moron would even consider doing something as unbelievably foolish as getting liposuction? Who, I ask you? Who?" And if she had to ask, the ever-irresponsible Peter enters the kitchen, looking considerably thinner than the fat ass he usually exists as. "Hello?" And I'll leave it there. I love this episode. But now I will go to bed. And I'll catch you in the next episode. I hope you're enjoying this. Because I'm enjoying doing this. Although my voices aren't actually that good at all, if not just really completely crap. It's nice to be able to tell a story like this, and especially before bed. Well, my bedtime. You guys probably read it in the morning. Watch it in the morning. Ciao for now.